the Atreyu like the arm.
Hello and welcome to Stammeron with me, John. So today we're going to be taking out the ADIDAS Solar Boost 5. Let's go. Hello and welcome back to Stammeron with me, John. So tonight, after this, I'm going to be taking out the Solar Boost 5. Now I bought these a couple of weeks ago and I did a half marathon with the intention of trying these out. Now I unfortunately just before that fractured my elbow, and even though technically it's still not properly healed, it's healed enough so I'm able to take out the Solar Boost 5. So I've been itching to take these out now for a little while and I'm really looking forward to trying the Boost. These were originally a £150 shoe, so these are an everyday shoe. You can do the everyday miles in, your long runs in this shoe, and I even probably think that this is around a recovery shoe as well. So this shoe has got light boost in it, so it's got a boost and it's got this bounce material in it and this Solar Boost orange foam as well. So I'm looking forward to taking it out to see what this thing can do with something I've got planned which I will announce quite soon, and this should fit into the training really nicely. So I'm looking forward to taking this on, taking it out now. I'm going to take out the Solar Boost 5 now on a recovery run. I did a half marathon on Sunday in the Hoka Skyward X's. It wasn't an official race, it was just me around the streets. I wanted to see what I could do in that shoe, so I'm going to use this today as a recovery shoe, see what this £150 shoe can really do. So let's get. So instantly from the shoe, I have to say I can't really say I'm feeling that comfort. They do feel a bit rigid, I think is the right word. I think it's because of that LER torsion system in them. So immediately on feet they don't feel squashy. They don't necessarily feel like a recovery shoe. I'm slightly confused as to what these are at present. And I'm sort of in between two minds. Are they a little bit like this ADIDAS, which I'm not too sure about, because it's ADIDAS, you know, I mean that is a properly stacked shoe. You know, these are not as stacked as that, but you know, I like this shoe. It's a really good kind of just plodding recovery shoe. So I'm not sure what these are for. As I say, the RRP and these are £150. I'll be really keen to see what they can do for that, and so I'm going to take them out, as I say, on a 10k, come back and let you know my thoughts. Hello and welcome back to Stammeron. So I've just come back from taking this ADIDAS Solar Boost 5 out for a 6 and a bit mile run. It was a really easy paced run, so roughly about 7.08 per mile. So it was basically a recovery run. For me, not really too fussed about the time, just about the miles in the legs. Now, I had the shoe a little while. As I've said, I injured myself, so I hadn't really been able to take it out. So I was really interested to see what the shoe was actually like. So for me, this is an everyday shoe, probably more so for those really easy miles, recovery miles in this shoe. So this shoe is 32mm stack height in the heel and 22 in the forefoot. It's got Solar Boost like foam. It's got light boost foam, this orange foam, and this LEP 2.0 plate in here. Now this torsion plate is not so much necessary to act like a carbon plate, but so much as a kind of just to keep it all in place, so kind of more of a stability plate rather than anything else. This upper is a recycled upper. It feels quite nice on foot, probably a little bit too wide for my foot. As I say, this is a recycled upper, feels perfectly fine. I quite like the fit of the upper. The tongue is sewn in to the upper itself, so it is actually quite a nice fit. So in terms of upper wise, it's actually really quite pleasant. The heel counter is okay, it's nothing special. There is some padding to the side, a little bit of a heel flare on the shoe, and all in all, I think it's a really well put together shoe. Now for the run. So what can I say about the shoe? So I purposefully incorporated some inclines in this today. Initially I had vibes of the Galaxy 4.5 in the shoe. I can't say I'm the biggest fan of that shoe, one of the worst shoes I've ever put on my foot, and I sort of had vibes of that. What I've really found difficult at first is I really felt this LEP plate. Now where I run, I'm a mid to forefoot, and there is that plate kind of hits it right on that spot where I hit, and transitional wise it kind of just felt a bit flat. So where I'd expect to rock from the heel to the forefoot, just as I kind of hit the forefoot there, it almost kind of flicks up on the toe before it gets to that point there, and it just felt a little bit strange. Now I had to adjust the stride, so I guess I was even though I went out on an easy pace, sometimes I kind of forget that, and I kind of probably go faster than is meant for this shoe. So the moment I kind of leaned back into the shoe, slowed the pace down, that's when it became obvious as to what the shoe is. It's definitely a slower paced shoe. Now it took a little while, but I managed to get into it, and the effort was a recovery effort. So as I said, I did a half run, a 13.1 mile run on Sunday. So I wanted today just to be a sort of easy run back into it. And it wasn't that... It's really hard to describe this shoe on the basis that it doesn't do anything particularly well. So it's not, I wouldn't say it's a particularly comfortable shoe. It's not an uncomfortable shoe. It's just not a comfortable shoe. Once you get used to that LEP plate, that LEP system in here, it's not that it's a uncomfortable ride, even though it wasn't a pleasurable ride. So something like an Invincible Run 2, it's really hard. It's really difficult to describe the shoe because it's not good at anything. It's not horrendous. The upper's not nothing exciting. It's comfortable enough. The ride is okay. One thing I will say is that the ride is propulsive to a degree. Thinking back on it, that the Boost foam actually is okay. I have felt flatter shoes than this, so the foam in here is actually quite a propulsive to a degree foam. What I don't like in the shoe, and this is caused by this LEP plate, plasticky, like this kind of figure 8 shape in here, is that what happens is that if you forefoot strike, particularly in here, then this bit before it bends, so it kind of bends in half and then kind of bends at the toe point here. That's just a really strange place to kind of almost bend the shoe, and then you almost forced into that kind of, you almost then have to back off. So that's always in the back of your mind. So to put everything together, and I will do a full review of this, I will take the shoe out again. This is just the first run impression in the shoe, and it's very much, I think, of an Adidas period of time of those shoes around, because this is like 2022, 2023, where there's no easy way to say it, is that in my opinion they had some not very good shoes. The Galaxy 5 is just, horrendous, and again, that's still £50. It's not great. This is 150 brand spanking new, so the RRP in this is £150. I do not understand that pricing on this. You know, I'd even rather a pair of boosts, you know, for £150. I mean, I you know, around that time, 2022, 2023, you know, we're talking, you've got Speed 2s out around that time, Speed 3, you know, I'd much prefer that to this. You know, you can use a Speed 2 for an easy recovery as well. So I just feel like around that time, so Adidas, just around that time, just don't really know what they were trying to do with these shoes. It's almost like they were experimenting with the shoes and almost expecting the consumer to sort of pay the price of the shoe. Now, this is not necessarily a bad shoe. Would I spend £160 on it? £150? Absolutely not. I spent, I think it was about £75 on it. At that price, I do think that you are getting a decent shoe here. I think that this will last. You know, the lugs on this are really quite good. The one thing I will say is that when you get into that flow in the shoe, it does eat up the miles quite well. When you're in the pace that it wants you to be at, so around that kind of, my kind of easiest pace is around 7 minutes to around 7:20, and around that for me it actually felt okay. It didn't feel, I wouldn't say it felt good, it just felt good, and the transition was quite good. My legs felt okay, and I just felt really comfortable in the shoe. So around that it's really quite good. But when I then think about £75 for this shoe, or you got the Reebok Float Ride Energy 5, which is a far superior shoe, and you know, even when this is new, this is £70 odd, you know, and this will last just as long as this. The foam is better in here, the traction is just as good as this, the upper is just as good. You know, the upper on here is a very similar upper to the Adidas, and you know, this is £75 still. This, I picked this up for I think £37, and you know, when you consider that, even the Adistar as well, you know, this is a different shoe, but still designed to do the same similarist thing on the basis that this is a kind of easy recovery shoe. And actually, I prefer the feel of this shoe again. And again, I think I paid £40 for the shoe, and this is, I think this is £100 or £80 at RRP. But you know, when you consider these two options, and the Float Ride Energy 5 is just an absolute banger of a shoe. I mean, it's just, I can't express to you if you've never owned a pair. And actually the 5 is a return to form. I think the 5 is the absolute best. So this is the king of the bargain shoe. So then when you then compare it to this, and even when this is £75 right now, unless it can do something when I review the shoe, I will take it out again, and I'll give it a fair shot. But you can have Solar Boost foam, you can have Boost foam, light Boost foam, you can have an LEP plate, you can have the Continental lugs, you can have a recycled upper. But all these things together doesn't mean, just because you throw so many different things at a shoe, doesn't mean that it's going to be a good shoe. So at least it's not an awful shoe. I wasn't necessarily pleasantly surprised, but tonight, considering I do have tired legs, this actually did hold the miles really quite well. The grip is really good, and it is quite a propulsive ride. So I'm going to take it out again, as I say, and I'll do a full review of the shoe, and I'll report back And on that note, thank you for listening. Please don't forget to like, favourite and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.